In this movie I will show how to return goods to vendors based on the purchase order. For this I'm here in my demo environment, Contoso environment, and I open the purchase order screen here. And create first a purchase order in the system. And want to order here this Zoom headphone. Quantity of 1, that's fine. And I post now the packing slip immediately, enter the packing slip and post the packing slip. What is the receipt list here? What's the difference between both? Well, in system-wise, the packing slip has actually already financial impact. That means usually I post goods received, not invoiced yet, transaction. A receipt list is mainly for bigger companies where I have a warehouse that simply accept or approves the receipt of goods. In this case, I would use here the receipt list. In this case, I go directly to the packing slip, and that's fine for us at this point of time. So I post the packing slip. I change this here to receive all. I will tell very soon what does it mean here, because the parameters sometimes, mainly when I start with the X or when users start with the X, it could be a little bit confusing here. So in this case, I select all, and again, I will tell you soon what the purpose of this parameter is. I enter here the packing slip number. I say OK. And the status of my purchase order in AX changed from open to received. I can check this always under quantity. So in this case, AX shows me that I have an item number here, and I received actually one item, and AX shows me as well that I have here an invoice reminder of 1. That means, one item has been received, but not invoiced yet. So let's assume now at this stage, the purchase order of status received should be, the goods need to be sent back. If I had here already the status invoiced, I can create a credit note simply by function and create credit note. In this case, I can't do it because I haven't invoiced the purchase order yet. And this doesn't mean now that I have to find any workaround and invoice this first or something like that. Let's face the reality here. I simply assume here I posted something wrong, and of course when I don't got an invoice yet, I wouldn't post here any invoice. I will need to use the function. So in this case, the status is only received. I can't use the function here because I haven't received the invoice yet. And I want to send this back, or I assume I made an error here, and I need to reverse this. How to reverse this now? I go here under quantity, and I enter here under received now -1. And I go under posting, packing slip, and here now we see actually that that all, when I select the quantity all, X recognize here's something wrong. What does this mean? What does this parameter trigger? Well, when I select quantity all, that means whenever I post a purchase order, receive a purchase order, or post the invoice of the purchase order, I consider the quantity of all items that are actually ordered. So all means simply that I received always my purchase order in the full quantity. So I don't have any part delivery or part received. I always assume that I receive the whole ordered quantity of my purchase order. This is most likely not the case. So in this case, I select here Receive Now, and Receive Now gives me the possibility to only consider the quantity that has been entered here into this field. So in this case, I say I receive now the quantity of -1. And when I do this now here, I realize, okay, that's fine for me. I can approve this here in the field lines. -1 update. That's fantastic, and this is exactly what I want. Here in the packing slip field, I enter, when I did something wrong, I can say here reverse or something like that, or reverse 1 or whatever. When I realize it's something wrong, if it isn't wrong and I really send goods back, in this case I have most likely an RMA number that I got from the vendor. In this case, by the way, but I don't go into detail now, in this case I would also raise most likely a purchase order from type returned, what's the name, I think returned ordered, instead of doing this here. So this is really quickly a quick way to reverse packing slip. So let me say here I reverse 1. Also important is in this case it's just the same time, and I realize immediately that that I made a mistake and I reverse my original packing slip. Of course, when you realize something 5 days later or 10 days later that it was actually a fault, a user fault, a user error, that the purchase order has been received. In this case, make sure that the original receipt date match with the return packing slip here now. Otherwise, you will have some days goods on hand that actually didn't exist because you made an error. So, however, in this case it's fine because I realized immediately that that my date that I made a mistake and I want to reverse this. So enter here the packing slip for reverse number 1. I say OK. And the status of my purchase order changed from received to open order now. I can check this here as well, what happened here in the background. I can check this with my voucher. I go here to inquiries and packing slip, and I see that 2 packing slip has been posted for this purchase order. 1 packing slip was the actual, the receipt of the goods, and then the second one was the return of the good, or I made, or when I haven't returned something, simply I made a mistake. This is then the reversal of the actual purchase order. So the status is open again. I see here now that my quantity has here now still ordered and a delivery reminder of 1. So that means I haven't received any goods yet here. And yeah, that's it.